Hello, people. It's your boy Slam back again with another topic show. Of course, we have got Barry. We have got two new guests this week. We've got Kartik and Arpan. How are you, boys?
Not too bad. Not too
Hello,
bad
it's fine.
yourself.
Fantastic.
Hey guys,
As
hey, how are you guys
always.
doing?
Yes, we're good. We're good. Good to have you boys on. Obviously, different parts of the world. As always, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to All for United channel. Follow us on Twitter as well. As always, after the topic, we always have a poll on the Twitter page. And at the moment, Barry's not won one, so hopefully he can potentially get a win here. We've got two new contestants for him, so he's got no excuses this week whatsoever. In case you haven't already seen on Twitter, the topic is Manchester United's greatest five-a-side team. Okay, so from any era, and obviously the players, as always, or the contestants, as always, have to vouch for the individual players and explain why they are in their team. As always, let us know in the comment section who is in your team. Make sure you drop a like. If you're not on YouTube, join us on YouTube. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Anyways, enough of this waffle. Let's get into it. Right. So the first question is the goalkeeper. Listen, I'm not gonna throw any sort of potentials out there. I'm gonna let you lot decide. Barry, I'm gonna let you go first. As always on the topic, normally you can't say a player that has already been mentioned. However, I've been told by the boss that you are allowed to say the same players. Okay, so I don't know why, but it is what it is. Anyways, Barry, you're first because you're going to kill me otherwise. So we'll start with you. Who's going to play in your net? Obviously, the reason for that person being selected.
Okay, so this one I had to give some thought because obviously two of the greatest goalkeepers ever have played for us in terms of Schmeichel and Van der Sar.
Yeah.
But I'm going for Edwin van der Sar as my goalkeeper. And I'm going for him because whilst I think Schmeichel may have been the slightly better keeper, I think Edwin was better with the ball at his feet. And I think he was a slightly better distributor of the ball than Schmeichel. So in a five-a-side game, distribution from the keeper is very important. And I'm going for Edwin.
Right, okay, so obviously you've gone for Van der Sar based on his ability with his feet. Very interesting. I've got a feeling everyone's going to say similar players. I feel like the goalkeeper's kind of, I know I shouldn't say this, but it's kind of black and white. There's only for me personally, there's only two real shouts for the goalkeeper, which you've mentioned both, in my personal opinion. Kartik, we'll come to you second. So we've got Edwin van der Sar. Also sorting this out with Van der Beek, or Van der Beek, shall I say, very recently. So what a legend he is. Kartik, who's in your net, bro?
I don't like picking players that I've never got to watch, in my lifetime. But I have to pick Peter Schmeichel, just because of his ability with his feet. I want my goalkeeper to be able to come out on the ball. I know Van der Sar, of course, was fantastic with his feet. Reflex saves as well, fantastic. But for me, it's got to be Peter Schmeichel. He's easily the best with his feet, in my opinion. So it's got to be him.
Right, so you got Peter Schmeichel, no pressure out on. They've come for two different people. We've got a comment here from Neil saying his full team. Neil, I don't know if you can count me, but you said 6. There's 5 aside. He's gonna kill me now. So Neil's gone for Van der Sar, Rio, Edwards, Best, Bob. Oh wait, no, maybe I've counted it wrong. Never mind. Oh, that's awkward. I've counted it wrong. Oh, never mind. Oh
no, you're right. It is gone for 6.
Right. No, it is 6. Never mind. Scrap that. I'm right. Neil, you're wrong, mate. Anyways, ignore that. Up on what you say for your goalkeeper. So we've got one Schmeichel, one Van der Sar. Don't worry, I'll give mine as well, so I'm not going to stitch you up too much. Are you going for someone different, or are you going for one of them too?
No, I think I'm going to go with Peter Schmeichel. First of all, because of the fact that he was more commanding, he used to get out of the box. Really, he had that immense sense on the ball, and I think his distribution was top notch. So I'm going to go with Peter Schmeichel, hands down.
So you've said his distribution was top notch. Obviously, Barry said a contrasting view to that. Barry, have you got anything to counteract that? Because obviously he's kind of not contradictory, but said it's opposite to what you said in terms of his distribution. Then
I just think that part of Van der Sar's stronger. I do think Schmeichel was a better keeper than Van der Sar, but for the five-a-side game, I'm going for Van der Sar because I think he was better with his feet than Schmeichel was in terms of distribution of the ball, not necessarily saving the ball, but distribution. He's a fantastic keeper, and in five-a-side football, you need to get the game going very, very quickly, and I think that he was better in terms of his distribution. It's a narrow one, but I'll go for it.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think many people are going to argue with either case. It's like you said, it's just personal preference, isn't it? Really, they're both absolutely legends of the club, really. So let's move on to where it's going to become a bit more controversial. Firstly, of course, you need to give me your formation. Obviously, some of you might go for a diamond, some of you might go three at the back, one on top. I don't know, it's up to you. We'll start with you, Alfred, this time. Firstly, what formation you're going for? And obviously, if you are going for just the one defender, who is that defender?
Okay, so the thing is that in a five-a-side match, I do not think that there is going to be any straightforward formation that way. But yeah, I would like to have one man guarding the back and two wing backs and two man, one on the midfield and one on the attack. So so I'll start with my defender. I'll go with Rio Ferdinand in the defense for obvious reasons. And yeah, if you ask me to choose one player to like guard the back, I'll have Rio Ferdinand in the back.
Yes, obviously, Rio Ferdinand seems to be very popular in the comments as well. So let us know who you guys would put there. So you've gone for Rio Ferdinand based on what though? So you said for obvious reasons, but for those people for what don't seem to know that obviously it's very difficult these days and age with football Twitter. Can you please elaborate on those obvious reasons? Is there anything in particular
one of them
you decide on Rio?
One of them is that he is strong. He can handle pressure. He is good on the ball, and he can distribute. He knows how to read the game, and he had a very good understanding when it comes to on-field players. And he is He is one of the best leaders that I have seen play in United. So these are the obvious reasons. These are the points that I had in mind when I chose Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah, so you've been backed up in the comments, like I've already mentioned. Eat, sleep, United, repeat. Rolls-Royce can defend, has pace, great vision, and bring the ball out from the back. In terms of five-a-sides, seems like the perfect play, really. To be fair, you can't really go wrong with those attributes. He's gone for a 1-2-1 formation, so slightly different to what you've gone for. Gareth, we'll come to you, bro. What are your thoughts? Who are you going for? Are you going for Rio as well? Or are you going to mix it up? Are you going for someone different?
I have gone for Rio as well. I think it's a very obvious one. I think he has to be in a five-a-side team, especially as he's one defender. I've gone for one as well. Said Rolls-Royce defender, he can do it all. He's one of at one point where you could press him all you like, he's going to skip past you. You can try and get past him, he'll catch up to you. That was Rio in a nutshell, and that's why he's in my team. Yeah,
no, absolutely no brainer. I completely agree. There's not one person that hasn't put Rio in their team in the comments here. But Doc, are you gonna? Well, I'm not gonna say curveball because obviously I'm assuming you're gonna say legend. But is there someone else you're going for?
I'm firstly the formation I'm going for is one at the back, one in midfield, and two up front. And I'm also going for Rio Ferdinand. Based on exactly what these other guys have said, of all the defenders we've had, he's probably been the best reader of the game that we have. He's very skilled, very comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's good in the air. And remember that Rio actually started off as a striker, not as a defender. So he's a very, very good player for this type of game. So I think not much debate in terms of who our one defender will be.
Yeah, no, again, I think... To be honest, there were a few that, obviously we'll touch upon at the end. So all the people that we could have put in there. I do think there's a lot to choose in centre back because we've had so many quality players. Obviously Vidic, Bruce, to name a few. Jaap Stam potentially. Obviously, there's so many other options. Jaap Stam in the five-side. Can you imagine going either wall next to Jaap Stam in the five-side? You just take the ball yourself. I'm not even going to bother challenging that one. Or in the corner. might as well forget about it. We've got another comment here from the weekly Armchair Podcast or Kickoff Podcast. Shout out to you. Schmeichel, Rio, Keane, Ronaldo, Rooney. So a few ideas for you boys. Doc, we'll start at you, or Barry, should I say? I don't know why I'm calling you Doc all of a sudden. Barry, stay with you. So obviously you've got the one midfielder. Who is that midfielder? I've got a feeling I know who it is, but
yeah, midfielder and captain of the team is Captain Marvel, Brian Robson. As you know, I'm a massive fan of Robson, and he was the consummate midfielder, box to box, skilled, good goal scoring record, strong in the tackle, dictated the pace of the game. I think the best midfielder that we've probably ever had, certainly in the post-Busby era for sure. So he would be my pick because he could link defence to attack, and he's up and down the field. Brian Robson.
Brian Robson. It's going to be so hard to debate against any of these players, like I said, all club legends. Let us know if you're watching in the comments. I know a few of you have put, there's a few that have put Giggs down, actually. I wasn't expecting Giggs' name, to be honest. Kartik, who have you gone for in your midfield? Have you gone for one midfield as well?
Yes, I've changing it, but
I think you're lagging slightly, just a bit of lag. Don't know if you can hear me or not, or unless it's me lagging because I was lagging yesterday. Garth, I was going to go to Arpan. We'll come back to you in a second. Okay, cool. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, so I'm not lagging. Right, okay. Arpan, am I right in thinking you've gone for one in midfield as well? Or you going for two?
Yeah.
Or you got one as well? Okay, so
no, I'm gonna go with one.
Okay, who are you going for?
So I'm gonna go with maybe Scorsese in the midfield. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Scorsese in the midfield because if you ask me again, I don't think there can be any more doubts. If I am looking at the players that I have seen play, of course, Scorsese he can shoot the ball from long range if you need that. He can break up plays. He can start up game. He can start a play. He can get the entire team running. And I think I have not seen anybody more technical on the ball in that United midfield for a long time since Scorsese. So I'm gonna go in with Scorsese.
Yeah, you've clearly not seen Anderson play for Man United, then, have you?
Certainly not
I'm
top level.
disappointed. When you said technical, I thought Anderson first. Come on.
Certainly not Tom Cleverley though.
Yeah, I was about to say it was close between them two. I'm a bit disappointed in you lads. I don't mention them. Kartik, sorry, bro. I hope
you got me back now. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So
welcome back, my man.
I'm getting very annoyed that he's copying my team. I've gone for Scorsese as well. He's literally your perfect five-a-side player. He can play on two touch. He'll twat someone for you if you need to. He's just your ideal five-a-side player. I'd love to have him in my team.
Yeah, no, Scott. Again, the Scholes. Not a lot of people have mentioned Scholes in the comment section. It surprises me. Like I said, easily, repeat. He went for Ronaldo and Giggs. Arpan, am I right in thinking you've gone for two defenders? Did you say two wing backs?
No, so I would go in with one defender, one midfielder, and one man operating on the wings, like going up and down.
Okay.
So it's a bit complex. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say that's definitely complex. It's gone straight over my head. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'll leave you to. I'm interested to hear this. Boxer, but it better be part of your song, "Best Lungs in the Game." Barry, so who's your third player? Who've you gone for?
So I've got two remaining players, and they're both going to play up front. And the first one I'm going for is Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Oh, here we go.
Because he's the predator supreme. 150 goals for United, 149 of them came inside the 18-yard box.
Yeah.
So give him a sniff of a chance and he'll bury it. So he's in my team purely for them to create chances and for him to bury the ball. Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, no, I was expecting someone to say Ruud. Cheers, Neil. In terms of Ruud van Nistelrooy, I think for five-a-side, he's got to be in everyone's team. Surely. I'm interested to see what the other two lads have said. But for me personally, he was in my team without a shadow of a doubt. I haven't even mentioned my team because
you're forgetting Federico Macheda though.
Yeah, that's true. Makeda was clinical as well, especially when he cuts in. there's a few. Alan Smith was not much at Lusa, I'm disrespecting them, to be fair. They had good periods for Man United. Arpan, who have you gone for? So who's this box to box / floater / winger / the guy that runs for everyone? Which player is it?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna be like any more difficult with this, but I think I've chosen Ronaldo for this spot.
Oh, okay,
So
fair
yeah,
enough. No, anyone's gonna argue with that.
so yeah, he's gonna be the runner for me. He's gonna pick up the ball from Rio Ferdinand, or from Scholes,
Yeah.
or from my fifth player, or for Schmeichel, and he's gonna
Wait, did
make
you just
all
say
the things
Ronaldo's gonna
happen.
be? Sorry, did you say Ronaldo's gonna be your runner?
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't.
I'm gonna take everybody on by the storm, man. I'm gonna take everybody like take by surprise and make them think that okay, Ronaldo is the runner. Okay, they wouldn't expect that, and Ronaldo will be the one.
No, I don't expect that at all. I've got to be honest. That's thrown me completely off. But
Completely out of
obviously, you was prepared for that. We've got a shout here from Neil saying Bebe. I think respectable as always. Very good shout. Ronaldo's the runner, lads. Wait, can we before we give Carter before you give yours, bro? Can you just talk about this shout here? Like, fair enough, you said Ronaldo as the the clinical finisher. In 5-a-side, obviously tech has gone on, but what you think? Is he making this debate easy for you? Ronaldo's the runner. Does that even make sense?
He's not going to be your runner, unfortunately, but I will disprove that theory in a minute because I've gone for a little tactical decision with my next two players.
Okay, give us one of your next two then.
Right, so I was going to pick Rude, but he's not in my team because he's just been said, and I don't want to make another same pick. But this player is going to be my next player. He's going to be my runner, this one, because he is a runner. Formations mean nothing to this man. It's this man right here, Wayne Rooney.
Oh, yes. God, get in my son.
The greatest player that I have ever seen in my life. If you don't know me up to this point, Wayne Rooney is my footballing idol. He's the player I grew up watching, grew up admiring. He is everything that I want in a player when I coach someone. Wayne Rooney is the footballing equivalent of a bulldog. He just goes after everything that he sees in front of him. Top goal scorer, hardest working player in most United sides over the years. He's got to be in a 5-side team.
But again, why is Rooney not being mentioned? Can I just take a second to acknowledge the disrespect that this man gets? Why is no one ever talking about him? Everyone always mentions the gigs, the score, rightfully so, by the way. But Rooney never gets any respect from anyone, and I'm absolutely fuming. He's my favourite Man United player as well, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, I just think
Wayne Rooney is always disrespected because he's Scouse.
Neil's just put, how old are you? Neil,
I'm 21.
It doesn't matter how old you are. Okay, I'm 28. I've seen more than just a Rooney, but for me personally, man, I just think he gets so much disrespect. The amount of work.
It's because he's Scouse.
I don't even know if it's that. I just think it's because of the whole sort of transfer thing, isn't it? I think that's got to be the reason.
Yeah.
Barry,
that's a different conversation altogether.
Yeah, Barry, you met Rooney on numerous occasions. What are your thoughts on that Rooney show? And obviously, you can give your play.
What are my thoughts of him as a player or as a person?
We'll say player. We'll say player.
Let's stick to the players.
My thoughts on him as a player is he's one of the greatest players that's ever played for us. Ably evidenced by his goal-scoring record, and ably evidenced by the fact that he's often had to sacrifice himself for the team 100%. And play maybe not in his favourite position. And I agree with what's been said. He wants the ball all the time. He puts in a shift. He doesn't get into my 5-a-side team, but a magnificent player. And I think, one who's not acknowledged partially because of, at that one stage, saying that he wanted to leave the club. In the eyes of many fans, once you say that your name is mud. But I think Rooney was an absolutely magnificent player.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that's the only thing you can put against him. Apart from that, he's, like you said, he's done everything for the club in terms of he's played in every single position that's been asked of him. He's left mid, right mid.
I can tell you something. Strike, I watched him on the training ground playing in goals. The guy's a bloody good goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, no, I've seen clips of him actually in there. on social media. And Neil has corrected us, and rightfully so. He ain't Scouse, he's Evertonian, God, to get it right. that is factual, to be fair. We know
Fact
that.
check.
Fair enough.
As Rooney has said, when he left to join Everton, he still sleeps in his Everton gear. Cheers, mate. Appreciate that. But, so Barry, who was your fourth player? You didn't say.
Right, so we've got one more place.
Oh, is it your last player? Okay, so who's your last player?
Right, I've agonized on this quite a lot. At one stage, I thought I would give it to Lingard, but I'm not going to.
Lingard would be a good five-side player.
Good five-a-side
player. He would, to be fair.
Right, now,
if
you go back in United's history, and this is way before my co-panelists were born, but United won the indoor five-a-side tournament in 1970.
Oh, here we go.
And George Best was playing. And in fact, he revolutionized the five-a-side game because he kept knocking the ball against his opponent's shins, playing 1-2 off the opponents. But I'm not going for George Best because our younger viewers won't identify with that. And my final player is going to be Ronaldo because just for his ball skills, he'll pick that ball up. He can beat anybody. Great goal scoring, great in the air. We've got Robson in my team to do all the donkey work, so I don't need Ronaldo running to the back to get the ball. But I think with Ronaldo and Ruud up front, my five-a-side team is a sure shot to win any tournament.
To be fair, I can't actually argue with that front two at all. But thankfully, I don't have to. Oh, man, who is your last player who's going into your team?
Okay, so this I had to actually think a lot about this because otherwise, I don't think there is anybody else. The person I've gone with, after a lot of thought, after putting in a lot of strategizing, putting in all the board work, emptying all the chalk boxes that I have. After all that, I thought that it was about two players, either Ruud or Rooney. Either one of them would do a good job, but certainly being born, having started watching the game post the turn of the millennia, I think I'm gonna go with Wayne Rooney because
you just picked my team.
Did I?
Team.
Yeah.
Do you have the same team, Karthik?
Yeah, we do.
Oh
man.
How does this work now?
Barry's automatically won. Right, just to change your side, you can't have Rooney then, obviously, because
okay.
There's no point for it, is there?
Yeah. So I'll have to go with Ruud in that case. Otherwise, I do not have any options.
Wow, so you've gone for Ruud. Wow, I wonder why you've done that. Have you actually picked the exact same team?
Yeah, it's literally the same.
Literally the same team.
This is the typical behavior of millennials.
Can I just say one thing, actually? Technically, he can have Rooney, right? And I'll explain why. I know it's the same team. However, he clearly specified that Rooney is not doing the donkey work, it's Ronaldo.
That's nonsense, right? You know what? Let him have it. I'm about to destroy him in this last bit.
I'm pretty sure you can have it because I'm going to specify that on the vote that Ronaldo is the one who's doing all the work and Rooney's not, which to me is blowing my mind, and I'm sure Barry is blowing Barry's mind as well. Right? Okay, Karthik. Obviously, your last player must be Ronaldo then. Wait, have you already given Ronaldo?
I've not told it yet, but I'll give it you now. Yes, it is Cristiano Ronaldo because who else would it be? Rooney and Ronaldo chilling out up front. Rooney's doing his legwork for him. Here you are, Cristiano. Go do your thing. Take on the rest of the team. Go and score about 10 goals.
That's so funny because you've got the same team, but you've got completely different thought process on it. Right, listen.
Different roles.
Obviously, that's going to be a debate in itself. I feel like Barry's won this week. I'm not going to lie because you two are going to be so hard.
Usman, I've won every week. Everyone's just.
Oh, yeah, sorry, of course, sorry. Neil's put this for you, Barry. Barry Grealish has won. There you go, mate.
Yeah, tell Neil if we'd had the brains to sign Grealish, he would have gotten into my team.
Oh, well, Neil, you've heard it here, mate. I'm sure you're absolutely disgusted as we speak. But we'll have to leave that for another show. Listen, so basically now what's going to happen is the guys are going to go up against each other and explain why their team is better than the others. in Cardiff, there's only one difference really. Obviously, Barry, you kind of got a free run. I've got a feeling they're going to go after you, yeah. But before we do that, obviously you can just go through your team for people that might have forgotten. Barry, we'll start with you, and you can explain why your team is better than the two lads.
Okay, I'll tell you why my team's better. The millennials have opted for Paul Scholes in midfield. Now, Paul Scholes would get into my best United 11 because he is one of our greatest midfielders ever. But in the five-a-side game, you need a guy who can tackle, who's not going to give away a free kick every time he tackles, which is Paul Scholes. So Robson would fit the role better. Also, Robson is a very good box-to-box player, very good distributor of the ball, and like Scholes, can dictate the tempo of the game. So they're very, very different midfield players. But in the five-a-side context, where you've only got one midfielder, he's got to lend out a little bit. He's got to lend a bit of a hand in defence, which is why Robson trumps it over Scholes for me. As for the front runners, I think if you look at, well, we all opted for Ronaldo, but if you look at Van Nistelrooy versus Rooney as a goal scorer, Van Nistelrooy is a far more prolific goal scorer than Rooney. So in this game, he would sniff out all the chances. I would trust him more to get the ball into the net than Rooney in the box. But, I mean, we've been spoiled by all these great players. And I have to say that our millennial colleagues need to get in touch with the history of the club and not only pick the players that they've seen. They need to go and watch some old footage and just see what great players we've had over the years. End of rant. And just a quick note, I do think that Lingard is very unlucky that he made the team.
He's just talked about watching Legends and then he's dropped Lingard in there.
Why, he's a club legend, mate. Have you seen, who scored cup final goals for us? Come on, can't they? Get the program.
Yeah, we've been living off that for the last 4 years.
I know. I'll be living off his dances at the Emirates. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just thinking in terms of midfield, in terms of Brian Robson, obviously, of course, club legend. I think Paul Scholes. You don't have to be a millennial to appreciate him. I think for me, I'm trying to think who I'd put in my team. I probably would have put Roy Keane in, to be fair. I'm not going to lie. I personally went for Barry's front line with Roy Keane instead of Brian Robson, just because Roy Keane's such an unbelievable leader. I suppose for five-a-side, he'd just be a bastard, wouldn't he, really? And that's what you'd want. You wouldn't want to go near him either.
Just remember, Robson scored twice as many goals for United that Keane did.
Yeah, but Keane's a prick, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? He'll just get a job done in 5 seconds. Can you imagine going near him next to the wall? He'll just punch you into the wall. He won't care. But Carter, you gotta explain. In fact, no, I'm probably going to.
Yeah.
Save the winner for the last. Save the winner for the last.
I can't wait to. I'm excited. Yeah, why you got Ronaldo doing the legwork and Rooney just chilling? Explain.
So I'm looking at the team. If you look at a five-a-side pitch, you're not actually talking about, when you're talking about legwork, it's not going to be that much of legwork as it often is in an 11-a-side match. So, although we say that Ronaldo is going to do the legwork, you understand that Paul Scholes is going to slot a bit on the lower half of the pitch. Ronaldo is going to fill in that gap because he has the tricks. And Rooney, when we're defending, Rooney will come down. So it is going to come down to the partnership of the two. So I'm going to depend on the ability of Ronaldo and Rooney on the ball and Paul Scholes to feed the two of them. And I think I remember, if I can remember correctly, Rooney and Ronaldo were pretty prolific when it comes to creating a duo. When it comes to scoring goals together, so they had one of the best partnerships for the club. So I do not think they're gonna get outscored by anybody. And I think that is the sole reason. And with Rio Ferdinand in the defense and Paul Scholes, although Paul Scholes might give away a couple of fouls, but in a five-a-side match, I do not think that fouls are gonna anybody can take much advantage of a foul, solely because of the fact that the pitch is not that huge. So although we are saying that I'm gonna make Ronaldo do the legwork, It is more of a attack on the attacking side of the pitch, less on the defensive side of the pitch. So yeah, that is a reason I think because of the sheer class of Ronaldo, we're gonna win the match. We're gonna outplay a couple of players and shred the defense into pieces. And then Rooney is there, Scholes is there, Ronaldo himself is there. They're pretty good on the ball. They can score lots of goals.
Right, Alpin, I'm going to be honest with you. I listened to a lot of what you said, and I feel like you just setting Kartik up to win. So Kartik, take you home, mate. Kartik, take you home.
Right then, let me have a little conversation, okay? First of all, we'll start with the goalkeeper. We'll look at my first three players. I've got Peter Schmeichel, Rio Ferdinand, and Paul Scholes. These lot are playing triangles around you all day, mate. You're not getting the ball off these three. Paul Scholes in that midfield is not just about the tackle. I don't mind giving away a few fouls. I've got Rio and Peter Schmeichel behind him. Oh, good. I'm not worried about that. Paul Scholes on the ball. You're not giving it away in the five-a-side. He's bossing that midfield. Then comes the absolute nonsensical situation of Ronaldo being your runner. If there's any player in the world, in United's history, to fill a gap between midfield and attack, it's Wayne Rooney every day of the week. That man's going to get up and down all day. Five-a-side, it's high-intensity sprints, quick reactions, hard work, and getting forward to help the attack and get back quickly enough to defend the transition. That's Wayne Rooney in a nutshell. And then we'll talk about the forward. Cristiano Ronaldo up against a defender, one-on-one. There's only one person you're backing. Those two up front, Rooney and Ronaldo, easily the best partnership out of everything that we've seen here. And let's not forget, in Barry's team, who are the two players that fell out again? Ronaldo and Rude. And I'll take all your votes. Thank you very much, Amir Olney.
Barry's got you there. I'll give you a rebuttal. Barry, I've got to pass that back to you, mate. What are you saying to that?
He hasn't, because let's remember that Ronaldo and Rude fell out in one instance on the training ground. And if you go and watch footage when the two of them were in the team, Ronaldo set up quite a few goals for Van Nistelrooy. So we would expect, because bear in mind as well that my team is going to be managed by Fergie, so he's not going to take any nonsense from any personal issues between those players. And I come back to my team because Brian Robson bossed the midfield better than any other midfielder. Yes, Scholes sprays the ball around well, but Robson bosses the entire midfield. And if you wanted to look for linking midfield to attack, of course, these guys have no knowledge of this, but, you could delve back in the history for players like Duncan Edwards, but we've not gone that far back because we've concentrated more on the modern players.
Hang on. I'm throwing this back in the mix, right? If I was to pick these kind of players, I'd have at least 10 comments coming at me going, oh, you were only born yesterday. You can't pick these players. You've never seen them play. If that was the case, so Bobby Charlton would be in my team, Duncan Edwards would be in my team, George Best would be in my team, and probably, who else would I chuck in there?
So why aren't they?
Dennis Irwin. Because I don't want to pick players that I haven't watched, because that will be the first comment that comes at me. That would be an easy argument for you if I was to pick them players. But I'm not giving you that opportunity, so.
Well, there are some who might think that I watched Billy Meredith.
Listen, Barry, I hear your point. First and foremost, Van Nistelrooy and Ronaldo still had a professional relationship on the pitch, and as you already mentioned, if Sir Alex Ferguson is the manager, which I'm assuming it is for all of us, then that's not going to be an issue whatsoever because he doesn't stand for that. We've got a question from Neil, or comedy from Neil even. Is it overhead hat game? Obviously not. And then, so in that case, it has to be Paul Scholes for him as well. So he's actually gone.
No, he said Scholes not the best choice.
Oh, sorry, apologies, I read it wrong. Right, okay, that's just my agenda seeking through here, trying to get him. Barry's gonna kill.
Wow, I think we're gonna end up Scholes in the debate. He might come and drop a comment that no, I do not want to play, or I want to play. I don't know.
To be fair, I would love to hear everyone's five-a-side teams in the comments. Obviously, a lot of people suggested different things. If you do watch this later, let us know on the YouTube channel, or if you see on Twitter, obviously comment in the comment section. I've got one last question to finish off. Obviously, make sure you vote for who you think is the winner. But you probably know what question it is. If you can pick one of these players to bring back into the current team, which one and why? But you can't pick someone that's already been said. Okay, so we're not gonna have the Ronaldo. It has to be someone different. Right, Barry, we'll come to you first. If you can pick someone, who are you picking to bring back into the team?
If from one of my five-a-side team,
That is correct, yes.
I would pick Rio to come back into the team because we're so dire in the centre-back position.
Yeah, to be fair, that's an absolute shout. To be fair,
so that's who I'd pick.
Okay, fair enough. You going for Rio? Kartik, who would you go for? Obviously, you can't have Rio.
Yeah, I was about to say Rio. I'll change it to Rooney then, just because he is an incredible footballer and our top goal scorer, and he's probably the hardest working player I've ever seen, and he's the GOAT GOAT.
Okay, Arpin, who are you going for? So no Rio, and obviously no Rooney.
Yeah, so I have no other option but to pick Scholesy because obviously our midfield needs somebody who can command it, and with I think Matic is not getting any younger, so yeah, I would have a Scholes to actually boss the midfield and guide Pogba and other midfielders up front. Yeah.
Fair enough. None of you taking a peek Ronaldo. That's interesting. Right. Okay. Fair enough. I'm just gonna say I would have taken.
We've got
Ronaldo.
Sancho. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're
yeah,
getting
of course,
Sancho.
yeah.
We don't need Ronaldo though.
Guys, we've got Lingard.
Are we?
We've got Jesse.
Oh, we've got
we got Lingard.
We got Pereira. We can go.
We got prime Lingard. We got prime Lingard.
Right. Oh my God. Right. Just before we wrap it up, obviously I know a lot of comments are gonna say we haven't said it. This person, you haven't said this person. So I'm gonna all give you one chance to say another person that you think that potentially could deserve to be in the team. Arpa, we start with you. In fact, no, we start with you, Kartik, because you and Arpa are going to have the same player at this rate. You can't say someone that's been mentioned now, okay? So, Kartik, is there anybody else that you think deserves a shout? Can be in any of the positions that we've already spoken about. Is there anyone that you think that potentially could have been in your team that you haven't selected?
I'm not going to help my reputation with Barry here with my millennialism, but I'm going to go for Paul Pogba because I think he's probably one of the most perfect five-a-side players that could be in this current moment in time. Tell me why he's not.
Oh no, Barry, I'm going to come straight to you for Paul Pogba comment, and then you can tell us who yours one is.
Do you mean one other player that's not been mentioned at all?
Yeah. So give us a player that's not been mentioned at all that you think that could potentially be in the team as well.
Oh, I'd put George Best in there. He could play in any team in any position. And as you know, for me, our greatest player that's ever been at the club.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think anyone can dispute that. No one's mentioned Giggs at all.
Giggs is a tough one.
No, because I think with five-a-side, obviously we'll probably all play five-a-side in our time, but with five-a-side, it's all about being good in small spaces in terms of tight spaces. Obviously, Giggs' ability to dribble. I just could imagine he'd be an unbelievable player to have in your team, but obviously that's just me.
We take Ryan Giggs, the Ryan Giggs of the first half of his career.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking. Obviously, peak players, isn't it?
That's the one.
Yeah. No, I think he's better than anyone that I've seen in terms of getting past people. Unbelievable, and his vision as well kind of goes unnoticed in terms of his passing ability. But Arpan, to finish off the show,
I'm gonna go with Robin van Persie.
Oh wow! I thought you were gonna say Paul Pogba for a second. I'm not gonna lie.
I was. I might have. I could have.
I inspire many people, mate. I can't help it.
Yeah, Kartik, living the dreams, my man.
So Van Persie based on what then? Because Andy Cole's your partnership potentially. I don't know. There's a lot of players. Irving, obviously, you've not really mentioned Irving much, but yeah. So why have you got Van Persie out of all the players?
Again, I'm gonna go with, since it's a forward player, so yeah, it has to have that kind of a chemistry. And since I already have Rooney in my team, if I'm gonna take out Ronaldo from the team, if I'm gonna substitute him, or in any case, if something else happens, I think I would still have a partnership up front, Rooney and Van Persie.
So does that mean Van Persie would be your legwork then?
No, in that case, Rooney would come down. Van Persie is not very famous for his legwork.
Neither is Ronaldo.
Ronaldo in a five-a-side pitch, prime Ronaldo. I don't think he's gonna mind. and we already have Scholes for that. So
Yes.
he's not gonna. It's not gonna be like only Ronaldo like Scholes and Ferdinand standing in front of the goal and Rooney standing in front of the goal
Yeah,
and like
of course.
Ronaldo running up and down, up and down. It's not gonna be like that.
God, I'm just mad at you. Right, okay, so fair enough. Listen, as always, make sure you check us out on All For United on Twitter. If you haven't already, check us out on YouTube. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. There will be a poll out tomorrow, so make sure you follow the Twitter page. The boys will be in the poll. Obviously, you're going to decide which team. If you don't agree with their teams for whatever reason, let us know your team. Don't just be one of those people saying, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Well, if you don't think they don't know what they're talking about, make sure you comment your team. Otherwise, don't even say it because it's pointless. Anyways, I've been your host, Usman Akhtar. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And we'll be back in a few. Apart from that, peace.